Another Monday is here with us once again, and that could only mean one thing. The tracker is back on your screens, and as far as Ghana football is concerned, it's been a roller coaster in the last 2 weeks or so, if I should say. I mean, when the Black Stars were knocked out of the AFCON till now, it's been a whirlwind of activity as far as the national team is concerned. Well, let me just give you a quick update of everything that has transpired. So, first of all, the ministry indicated that they weren't happy with Rajevac, and so him and his technical team had to go. The GFA were not too happy. They went back and forth, and eventually agreed that Rajevac had to go. So Rajevac has officially been done with. The ministry have also asked for a reconstitution of the Black Stars Management Committee. We'll see if that will happen in the next couple of days. But what has taken center stage is who becomes the next head coach of Ghana's Black Stars. Chris Hughton, former Brighton and Hove, former Newcastle, former Nottingham Forest manager, appears to have emerged as a front runner. In fact, he's currently in Ghana as we speak. Otto Addo, part-time assistant to Milovan Rajevac, didn't appear for the AFCON, is also in the mix. I'll be giving you some interesting news on that. There's also Ibrahim Tanko. His name has been thrown into the mix as well. So there's a lot happening. George Boateng of Aston Villa, our own good friend here, we've interviewed him twice on the tracker. His name is in the mix as well. So there's a lot to digest as far as the tracker today is concerned. As we do all the time, we'll take a quick break and introduce our motivational video. It's called The Mindset of a Champion. When we come back, Herbert Boateng is in the studio. He'll be my guest and my wingman as we dissect the issues for today. Like I said, it's a coaching conversation today and a management conversation in some respects. Herbert Boateng is here. He was also in Cameroon to watch the Black Stars. He observed everything at close quarters, so who better to talk to on these matters than him? Herbert, thanks and welcome to the tracker.
Thank you, my brother, Benjamin Nketsia, Yaoundé Boga.
Thank you very much, Herbert. Let's get into this. In less than 4 months, we've done away with Milo. We've done away with CK Akono. CK Akono lasted a little bit over a year, and then he was moved on. Milo lasted less than 6 months, and he's been moved on as well. Do you, first of all, support the decision to sack Rajevac at this particular time? Because I heard that Rajevac in the last 48 hours to his sacking was requesting for videos to watch of the Nigeria Super Eagles to prepare for that game, and then he was told to hold on because his sacking letter was being prepared. Do you agree that this is the right time to have sacked Rajevac?
Of course, I support that sacking with 5 bags of Gary. Because that sort of emotional torture that the Serbian coach put me through at the start of Amaju Ahijo in Ghana's 3 games. Yes, he was supposed to be even sacked in Cameroon before we got to Ghana. You see, we all had high hopes. Under CK Akono, the team wasn't playing that well. We knew how we struggled during the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers, and even in the World Cup before we parted with CK Akono. Then comes in Milovan Rajevac. There's a coach that 2010, in the past decade or 2 decades, he's one of the successful coaches for Ghana. So we're expecting him coming back. He's going to replicate what he did. 2009, he was at the Chan final with the home-based team, that is the Black Star B. 2010, in the World Cup, he got to the quarterfinals. So looking at his pedigree, everybody knowing that the arrival of Milovan Rajevac, we're expecting that the team was going to blossom. We're going to enter into a new era whereby that would usher us into more success. But what we saw at the Africa Cup of Nations, clearly, to me, Milo is done and dusted. And there was no way he was
even not just for Ghana.
No, he's done and dusted. There was no way he was going to revive anything for the Black Stars. There's a coach that after games, people back home would even call you, Coach, on your change. Coach, on your change. And let me tell you, in our first game against Morocco, 83rd minute you concede. After conceding, that is when you make a change. And then you go to presser, and then journalists question you, why do you make the change? You tell us that everything was okay. My goodness. Meanwhile, all of us sitting at the stadium, you speak to French people, they tell you that's an EPA bon. It is not good. It is not good. Everybody, about the 70 or 20,000 people who are watching the game are telling you that what is going on the pitch is not good. But then you have one man who is standing on the touchline and is telling that it is good.
He says that he's the one closest to the action. He makes the selection.
And after 3 games, you had 1 point.
Yeah.
And you lost to a debutant like Comoros. Look at what Comoros reached in the tournament.
Yeah.
And look how they played against the host nation. I felt so sad. Look at how Comoros was playing, even without a goalkeeper, without
a recognized goalkeeper.
But look how they played against the host nation.
Yeah.
So we expect so much from the Black Stars, and then you go and you disgrace us, and you come back to come and tell us that you are appointed to qualify us to the World Cup.
Yeah, he says he was asking for videos of the Super Eagles. He wanted to watch a few videos to prep himself for the Super Eagles game.
That was even an insult to us.
Yeah.
Clearly, I keep saying, whoever did that appointment appointed Milo. There is a coach, after Ghana, Thailand. Listen, Thailand.
With no proper football aspirations.
Thailand. Look at where he went after leaving the Black Stars. Yep. With Qatar, even with Algeria, he was sacked.
He was fired after 3 weeks in Algeria. 3 weeks.
You understand? So there's a coach that I'll say that in his career, all his success has come with Ghana.
True.
And look at the way a man that he left us. They will say that Vincent Nyango lefty. You leave us at the time we wanted to renew your contract because you are going for money somewhere with the club in Qatar or UAE or so, and it backfired. And then you come back, and you see, let's put emotions aside. Look at his team selection. Look at the time that he makes a substitution, and Milo has no plan B. Anytime you see that, no, watching the games, you know that the team is not performing, but he doesn't even make good substitutions to change the game for the Black Stars. And we're all there, we're all witnesses too. I am not saying everybody who watch the Black Stars. The team has I don't even know what to say. It's bad. The performance has dropped. I'll rate CK Akono did a better job than Milo. Trust me. Yes.
That's how bad the Rajevac 4-month spell was.
Now I get to understand. Otto Addo, who was appointed as assistant coach to Milo, why didn't he come to the Nations Cup? I told you something. I watched one of our qualifiers at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium where it seemed there was some sort of argument between Otto Addo and Milo. All had to do with changes. It had to do with changes.
Because Otto Addo realized that the game needed a change.
Exactly.
And the coach wasn't making any changes.
Because when you are on the pitch and you're looking at the players or looking at what is going on, you have people who are behind you also analyzing. So at least when they suggest you should do what? You should listen. But this coach doesn't listen. We have people who are close to this and telling us our coach on he does not listen. I'm telling you, there was one FA official when we were playing the game, that third game in Garua. He was complaining bitterly about the coach. His tactics, his training methodology. We even had players confiding in us, telling us, Milo, or you change this, or you training crowd, wadodo. You remember that incident at the hotel when one player said, look at Milo. I think we were analyzing one of the games, and the player said, Coach, on Shashi, if you have a key player in the Black Stars telling you that, saying this, it tells you that even the playing body and we the fans know that he's not good for the Black Stars. So for me, as I said, I support it. I'll make it 10 bags of Gary that Milo is gone.
Let's get to the conversation with the management committee, because a lot of the blame has also been laid at their doorstep. For instance, where the Black Stars eventually ended up lodging in Cameroon, the Joga Palace, there were complaints that the environment was just not conducive for a national team. Apparently, they wrote once to CAF and didn't get a favorable response and left it at that. There have been reported incidents of player indiscipline in camp, reported incidents of just chaos generally in camp. George Amoako's led committee have been, or the ministry have recommended that George Amoako led committee be reconstituted. What do you have to say about the Black Stars Management Committee in terms of who makes the composition, or do we even need an entire committee to lead the Black Stars, especially in these type of tournament situations?
Of course, they have to be blamed because we perceive them to be leaders of the team. When it comes to the off-the-field issues, they are supposed to be in charge. Yes, as you said, where the Black Stars lodged in Yaoundé at the Joga Palace. Personally, I think that it wasn't a good spot for the national team. Look at this. There's a hotel that when you even get down from your car, you enter straight to the lobby. You understand? So the players, when they want to take a walk or want to have when the
players exit the hotel, they're literally right in the middle of town.
Yeah. You understand? And just next to you, just 3 seconds walk, there's a nightclub there. I remember in our second game against Gabon, Thursday, so Friday I was there. I'm telling you, the place was buzzing. with the things that I was seeing over there.
It literally looks like a red light district.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
basically.
So as to why they agreed, yes, maybe that is the hotel that CAF gave them.
Yep.
Because Guinea, that is Keita.
Yeah.
They
also brought in their later. Yeah.
Exactly. So actually, so why is it that Gabon and other national teams were able to reject their hotels?
Yeah.
And even though they were fined, at least they picked up the hotel. They think that they will feel comfortable, be able to do what, control their players.
Yeah.
So if you a four-time Africa Cup of Nations winner, you understand, and then the CAF tells that I want to put you here. At least, if your management is really strong,
I mean, that just also tells you how much Ghana's powers have waned as African football royalty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because clearly where they put the Black Stars, it wasn't good. The surroundings and everything. Anytime they have to drive to the stade Ahmadu Ahidjo Annex for training, look how people come around. The place is crowded. You understand? So no peace of mind for them. I remember one of the players also complained about the noise coming down from the nightclub.
Yeah.
It tells you that where they were lodging, there were a lot of problems. I will not even blame them too much, but seriously, Cameroon should have also done better in providing good hotels.
The LOC should have done better.
The LOC, let's put it that way. Should have also done a good job in getting good hotels for these teams. No wonder. That's why Morocco came to the tournament. They had the money and they said, yes, we've paid for this hotel.
Literally brought everything of theirs.
We should have also done the same, because it got to a time when you enter into the lobby, look at how many people come into the lobby. If you're a player, you won't even relax at the lobby. You understand? They step back and I want to take
of privacy.
Exactly. I want to take picture. I want to do this. So personally, I think that they really didn't do a good job. This is the same management team that took the Black Star to Qatar. When we got
carried along injured players.
Yes, and even in Qatar, where they come for 2 weeks, you train with only 13 players. So the management committee, I don't know their composition and their constitution. When they were there, what were they doing? Why didn't they send some of them to even come earlier to Cameroon to come and scout for a good hotel for them? You get my point. And even actually, it was disastrous.
It's a myriad of issues.
Yes, and you asked me about whether we have to constitute a new technical team. We asked ourselves, management committee, what actually do they do? You should come and tell us.
Because I
you
remember
have about 4, 5, 6, 7 of them walking around. What do they do?
Yeah, and this just even brings me back to the recommendations of the Jamepe Commission. They did say, boldly spelled out in that commission, that the management committee of the Black Stars needed to be done away with. First of all, because the people in there did all not have clearly defined roles. You couldn't pinpoint what they were doing.
Yes.
But when it came to time to split monies were split with coefficients, and all these individuals benefited. So the Jamepe Commission was very clear in its definition of the management committee and its role. It said that the role that was being performed by a lot of committee members could actually be simplified down to 1 or 2 individuals, and everybody could move on. So that's what's going on as far as the coaching situation is concerned. Let's now get to the meat of the matter. Who becomes the new head coach of Ghana's Black Stars? Well, former Nottingham Forest, former Brighton and Hove Albion manager is Chris Hughton. Now, Chris Hughton has Ghanaian heritage. His dad is Ghanaian. And the word is that he's currently in the country. In fact, so there's a picture that was taken yesterday that showed him at the Labadi Beach Hotel having a conversation with the father of Callum Hudson-Odoi. So Chris Hughton is indeed in Ghana. The word is that there are some individuals with a lot of power in government who are pushing for the appointment of Chris Hughton. But a little history here. Just before Ghana hired CK Akono, Ghana were looking to hire Chris Hughton as manager. But he was asking for $100,000 and also asking to bring in his own backroom staff. So I'm guessing that worst case scenario, he would bring in at least 4 or 5 more people. Worst case. Best case scenario, maybe 2 or 3 more people. Either ways, the GFA and the government of Ghana had to pay for those extra individuals and extra mouths. They said that they didn't have that kind of money to pay. 100,000 plus extra. Herbert, why do you think that all of a sudden a team that said that we couldn't pay Rajevac 35,000 has found excess of 100,000 to pay Chris Hughton, who was fired by Nottingham Forest just last September?
I think we've all realized that when we have to resort to cheap labor, it's not going to help us. because we do go for this 20,000, 5,000 coaches. We fire them within 3-6 months, and then we pay huge sums of compensation.
True.
So why don't you use that money and get a quality coach? Or what? Listen, when people say Black Stars, we don't have quality, I tend to disagree with them.
In terms of personnel?
Personnel, yes.
Yeah.
Look at Equatorial Guinea. Look. Do you have any star player in that side that is playing the top league in Europe?
Nope.
But no. What the African Cup of Nations has taught us is players should what? It has to do with good tactics. It has to do with players with determination and desire to play.
And good coaching too.
Yes, that's all you need. African champions, Algeria, where are they now?
The Gambia are a good example. Sierra Leone are a good example.
Exactly. You understand? So with Ghana, let's stop away. We don't have money. Listen, football is business. And to get to the right what? You want to win the trophies. You want to get things right. You need to what? Invest.
True.
Let's come to our club size. Look at the top clubs in the world. Because they are doing the right investment. They are getting the right players. That is why they continue to dominate and what? And win trophies. So with our national team, if we want to do what? We want to win the AFCON, as we say. We want to qualify for the World Cup. Let's forget about going if we don't have the money. I don't want to hear that when it comes to football. Because if you are doing the right things and you are winning, that is when you are going to the AFCON, you are making the semi-finals, you are making the finals, you are taking the prize money, you are qualifying for the World Cup. As long as you invest, you do what?
You get your money back.
So for me, if there is 100,000 we can afford, we should
give it to him.
Don't we start projects in this country and we don't even finish? Do you know how many millions of dollars goes into those projects?
For example, is the districts, the multipurpose resource facilities around the various cities. It has been at 90% completion rates for the last 12 months or so.
Of course. And you see, you go for a $20,000 coach, but then when you are going for a tournament, you understand, you really want to prepare well. And I know it is football. As long as you want the best of preparations, you have to what?
You have to be ready to pay for it.
You have to pay. So you make sure that you want to, when it comes to the football aspect, make sure that you get the right coach and pay them. Look at Hugo Bruce when he joined South Africa.
Yeah.
You understand? We're nearly eliminated by South Africa from the World Cup qualifiers.
And South Africa literally have no talent.
But look how they are playing. Because they have a tactical coach, a very good coach who has won the AFCON trophy. How much are they paying him? He's not taking almost over 100,000. You understand? So let's stop. We don't have money. Ghana, we are not poor. You understand? Just that we don't do the right things. That is why most of the times people don't want to subscribe into taking out huge sums of money to pay because we don't do the right thing, because we know ourselves.
So you think that the issue of money is down to our lack of accountability?
Of course. And sometimes the way we treat our local players, our local coaches. You get it. But just do a survey in town. Everybody's interested that Chris Hughton will be appointed, but nobody is talking about how much he will take. I told you, if he's appointed and he's taking 80 or 90,000, there won't be any complaint.
As far as he's doing the job,
because he has the tag of his English player as coach in the Premier League. Now he's Brighton coach, he's Newcastle coach. Yep. That is what Ghanaians want. So we expect that. And to whom much is given, much is what? Expected. That is why when they are giving you 1 million, if you don't do the job, I'll come and criticize you. So I have no problem if he's going to get a job. If Otto Addo is also in line to get a job and he's taking 100,000, please, let's agree and also give him 100,000.
We'll come to Otto Addo in a bit. Just hold your horses. Let's talk a bit about play style, because a lot of people say that Chris Hughton was basically fired for Brighton for being a very negative coach. Basically plays Rajevac style of football, long ball, very boring, pragmatic type of football. He's not a forthcoming coach. He's not an attack-minded coach. And if you look at the realms in which Ghana is entering now, Kamaldeen Sulemana, Abdul Fattah Isaaku, Mohamed Kudus, Thomas Partey, so we have a lot of attack-minded talent. Should his style of coaching matter to us in the decision we are about to make?
Oh, definitely, we should, because we all know our style of play. Everybody knows how the Black Stars play, and anytime the Stars play very well, at least you have people to even compliment when even they lose. And I think that, as you said, if he's a defensive coach, he has to change that sort of approach, because this is not a club side whereby you say you do away with players and go and bring defensive-minded players. There's a crop of players that you are coming to meet. Okay, and most of them are attacking minded. So you play according to the strength of the team. That is what Milo got it wrong in the African Cup of Nations. That's why we were eliminated. He's a coach that when he scores one, what does he always wants to
drop back and defend.
Yes, and protect that lead. That is what happened to us against Gabon. When Andrea you scored that goal, look at the changes that he was making. When the Gabonese equalized, the Gabon team equalized, then you have to throw in all your attacking players. You understand? So I think that with any coach, when you're coming to a new terrain, you have to study the environment.
Yeah.
What is favorable, what is good for these people. Before, when we were growing up, all we know is Ghana is 4-4-2. Right now, football has evolved.
Yep.
During Asamoah Gyan's era, where he becomes the arrowhead and we do it. And even Milo even confirmed, I don't have an Asamoah Gyan in my team to be playing that type of football.
Yep.
You understand? So it tells you that right now we have to do real building, because the truth is that for the past 5 years, I don't know the style of the system that the Black Stars are playing.
We are all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know the system we are playing. We went to the AFCON, whether if the Andrea Ayew is false 9, whether if he's auxiliary, what are we even playing? Right now, we've been made to understand that Jordan is no longer a striker for Black Stars. We have to push him to the wings. So everything is Basa in the Black Stars.
Yeah.
So right now, we have to rebuild. We need a coach. Then it comes to the technical director, who, when was appointed, told us that he doesn't know the system, the style of play, or the football philosophy of Ghana. It's been 2 years.
The GFA have told us that Lepet is not Black Stars technical director. He's technical director for all our teams, and so we can't expect him to be managing Black Stars affairs. I don't know if that sits well with what you are saying.
You said he's the technical director for all the teams.
Yeah.
And as a technical director, he's supposed to at least give us an idea of a certain philosophy.
So you mean he's supposed to define philosophy for all our teams running?
Exactly. And you've been here for almost 2 to 3 years. What is he doing? Because as I said, the coaches that keep coming, what is the philosophy that, this is what I've studied within this 1 year or 2 years. This is the philosophy Ghana is supposed to play. This is what works for us. 4-4-2, 4-3-1, 3-4-3. What is it? He's there, nothing. You've just said it. You've not done anything about it. And we have coaches coming out. Today we are changing tactics. Today we are doing this. And it's really affecting, it's not helping us. Because the structure from the top to the down, everything is collapsed.
Looks like Ghana football has really deep-rooted issues. Let me just take your word on one more thing before we take our first break. The concept of assistant part-time coaches. Part-time. So Maxwell Konedu is currently a part-time coach. That's if he's not been washed away with the Milo era. Otto Addo, again, assistant part-time coach. Do we do away with that?
Yeah, we have to do away with that. It really help us getting a coach with Dortmund. If you're not able to convince him to come and stay here, it all has to do with money. You understand? If you are telling, I have this offer for you to be an assistant coach of the Black Stars, I'm paying you this this X amount. Definitely, if the offer is good, he will stay. Because the thing is that after the international breaks, last time I was making this debate. When we go to the Africa Cup of Nations, we saw teams with a very huge technical team. But we 2 weeks to a tournament and you want to go and win. When other nations are doing the right thing, they have the money to pay because they are doing the right thing. For permanent stuff. That is what we need in the Black Stars. Somebody shouldn't come and tell me that because the national team in the year, they will play 3 or 4 games. So let's wait when we are going for a tournament. No. Preparations, it always has to start from somewhere when you have permanent. That is why I'll subscribe to Hughton. I'm coming with my backroom staff. I want to work with this crop of players. So anytime he needs them, they are here. Because when you have a backroom, when you have a solid permanent backroom staff, that is when they'll be monitoring players. That's when they'll be scouting them. That's when they'll be doing the right thing.
Keeping details and all small data.
Part-time coaches, listen, why don't we look at this way? We had this policy when we bring in a foreign coach, we gather some local coaches. They learn from the foreign coach. It gets to a point that when he leaves, somebody takes over. That is how we got Kwesi Appiah, because he understudied so many foreign coaches, and he becomes Kwesi Appiah we know today. Why is it that trend hasn't continued?
Yeah, I think we've given Konedu that chance. Why we don't think Konedu is good enough to be head coach is another mystery and another show altogether on its own.
But he continues to prove to us that he can do the job.
Yeah,
because when we went for the tournament, what did we see?
He was left out of all the consultations.
When they are taking a difficult decision, he's not part of it. He isn't. He was given a Legon City's job. You understand? Look, he's failing. He is failing. So that's what Master Konedu is out of the picture now. Going forward, you understand?
Yeah.
I think we should also build the capacities of our local coaches. There are lots of potential coaches that when they are given the chance, in the next 4 or 5 years, they can also handle the Black Stars. But something that has to do with we the fans. We should have the faith and trust in them. Yeah. See, I'm hoping, I wished Kwesi Appiah would give him the opportunity for for this doubleheader for this Nigeria game, because this is a coach that he has qualified us. He beat Egypt.
The last time the qualifiers went through this format, he took us through.
And you have 7 weeks to that game. That game is on the 23rd. If my date is right, you have 7 weeks. Yeah. You're now bringing a Chris Hughton who has no understanding, doesn't understand our philosophy, doesn't know the players. You understand? But this is Nketsia Pia, about 60 to 70% of these players, he knows them. So I wish if FA hadn't destroyed their relationship with the coach, he would have been the best person for now. Because we need a caretaker manager, an interim coach for the World Cup qualifiers. But if you are bringing a new coach, then you have to let all of us understand that it is a long-term project. It is either it is 50-50. The Israel is going to work or it's not. But if you want to qualify for the World Cup, that is also a government project because they don't want to miss out going to the World Cup. Then they have to do the right thing.
Let's hold your horses there. The World Cup is a government project. I like that particular target. Let's take our first break here on the tracker. When we come back, we'll discuss the other possible candidates for the next Black Stars job. Stay with us here on the tracker. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the tracker here on Citi TV. We are discussing who could possibly become the next head coach of Ghana's Black Stars. Let's move on to the next man on the list. Otto Addo played for the Black Stars himself. Played for Borussia Dortmund. These days, he's assistant coach at Borussia Dortmund. He was a part-time assistant not too long ago to Milovan Rajevac. That status was thrown up in the air because, like Herbert Riley mentioned, there was an altercation of some sorts between the two of them during one of Ghana's qualifiers. And before we knew, Otto Addo did not show up for the AFCON. There are some who said that Dortmund did not want him traveling because of the spike in Omicron cases around the world. But we've not had any clear communication on why Otto Addo didn't join the Black Stars team. What we know is that the FA president is currently in Germany, according to reports, trying to convince Otto Addo to take up the head coach's job of the Black Stars. That's very interesting in terms of developments because, like I said, Chris Hughton is being projected by some powers in government. The GFA don't seem too keen on a Chris Hughton hire. Herbert, Otto Addo, the man who seems to have just vanished into thin air, apparently is being convinced as we speak by the FA president.
Yeah, of course. I always say I'll call him Prophet Addo. He foresaw what would happen to Ghana at the AFCON Cup of Nations. That's why he decided not to come. Because clearly, yes, everything has gone down the drain and the technical team has been dissolved. What we know is when they constituted the technical team with Milo, he was part of that team. Yeah. So why is it that the reports are now saying that the Ghana FA president is now in Germany going to look for Otto Addo? Yeah. It clearly tells you that maybe he has sent a report or has informed officials of Milo's works or duties that maybe to him wasn't to his satisfaction. Clearly, when he was not coming for the African Cup of Nations, I knew that yes,
there was some trouble.
There was some trouble. There's no way he is going to work with Milovan Rajevac. I remember one of the press conference, Milo was asked whether he was in charge of the team. If you would remember one of the press conferences.
After that substitution round.
Exactly. You understand? So and this is a man that he knows his stuff. Yeah. You understand? And come on. He can also be the head coach.
Yep.
Okay.
He views himself as somebody who is capable of taking that particular job.
Yes. And you see, with people of his caliber, I respect so much. Because if I think that if I share my views that you don't take, if I express my feelings and you think it's not going to work, then I'm going to what?
Then I'm going to step aside.
Yeah. So you go right now, the shame is in. He isn't part of it. Because everybody knew, every Ghanaian knew that he wasn't part of the team. And clearly, yes, he is capable to lead the Black Stars. He's an ex-player. He knows the team. He knows the tradition. And there's a player that will command so much respect. There's a coach that will command so much respect if he's handled the job. Look at where he's coaching. Borussia Dortmund, one of the top teams in what? In Germany and in the world. Look at the kind of players that he works with. Definitely he's going to learn one or two. And then the history tells us that German coaches have really helped the Black Stars. There's a Ghanaian who has been living in Germany all his life.
Otto is literally German at this point.
You understand? Yeah. So he has everything it takes. And now you understand why maybe the GFA wants Otto Addo to come and take over.
There are those who say that he's actually never been head coach, never coached the national team. Does that take anything away from him?
No, it does not, because at every point you need to start somewhere. Okay, you need to start somewhere. When Nketsia was given the opportunity to coach the Black Stars, he had been assistant. Okay, there's a player that he has played. He played in 2006 for the Black Stars at the World Cup. You understand? Desmond, he's earned his coaching badges.
Yeah.
He's with Borussia Dortmund. We are all calling for...
And they've promoted him through the ranks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And look at the players that he's working with, the top and world-class players.
Yep.
Same with Didi Dramani. Didi Dramani has, yes, he's coached Premier League side, but when it comes to national team experience, it had to do with the women's side. But even people are also mentioning his name for the Black Stars. Because recently, he was...
His name has come up a lot of times.
Was in Northern. Just give them the opportunity. If not, find 3 coaches. Let them work together. You understand? Appoint one. Let them lead the national team. They can do it. You understand? Ghana, all we need is support, no interference.
Let the technical team do the job.
Let them do their job.
When they fail,
then you fire them. It is football. You understand? That is why we have managers of the team. Yeah. As long as it is not going, you can solely blame. As I said, to whom much is given. If I give you this amount, I want you to deliver this for me. I'm not doing it. I just tell you, my friend, you failed. Just go out. But these local coaches, most of them, their problem is that, you see, Otto Addo will come with this European mentality that I am the boss and I'm supposed to do the job. When it doesn't work well, I will take the blame and I will resign or I will be sacked. But with our local coaches, when it's not going well, they keep quiet and they are there, all because they're enjoying some dollars. Yes, that is the gospel. That is the problem. Listen, somebody is influencing selection. He won't say, he will keep quiet because at the end of every month, he'll get some $25,000. He'll get some $30,000. So then he forgets about the job and thinking about the money. But with people with this mentality, they want to make a name for themselves. Yeah. You understand? So going forward, if you're a local coach, I always support if a local coach is given a job because we are all Ghanaians. I know. Look at this tournament. Look at Senegal's Aliou Cissé. Yeah. How long has he been with the team now? 7 years. Even though he hasn't been lucky, Senegal 2019 were in the finals. Now they are they are expecting him to at least go back to the final and win the trophy. Understand? We need to give them. We need consistency. Give them time.
Let's talk about another candidate for the job. Is Ibrahim Tanko. Let's talk about Ibrahim Tanko briefly. We'll talk about George Boateng after Ibrahim Tanko. Let's talk about Tanko now. His last job was with the local Black Stars, which is the Chan team. That's Ibrahim Tanko there in your shot. Was also part of the Kwesi Appiah led Black Stars. In fact, he was assistant to Kwesi Appiah until he was eventually removed. And then CK Akono was brought in. He's coached the Chan team as well. His last game was that infamous friendly match in Uzbekistan, where a lot of people said the friendly match did not make a lot of sense. He was also coach of Ghana's under-23 team that failed to make it to the Olympics. So he has a lot hanging on his head as far as recent national team appointments are concerned. Don't forget that he was also Hugo Bruce's assistant when Cameroon won the AFCON. So if there's somebody who has been there, done that, seen it all, and could bring a wealth of knowledge, it is Ibrahim Tanko. Why isn't he a strong candidate for this job?
It has to do with the FA and those who normally are tasked to appoint a coach for the national team. Let's ask ourselves, do they trust Ibrahim Tanko to be the right person for the job? You've already given us a clue of his CV, what he's done in the past, his experience. And he's also one of the Ghanaian coaches who German trained. Yeah, Ghanaian
also played for Dortmund. Striker for Dortmund.
He also had this sort of German training. And Tanko is a very good coach. I don't know what happened when Kwesi Appiah dropped him after the Africa Cup of Nations. Maybe they have their own issues. But personally, I think that Tanko needs to serve, maybe to be made an assistant. Again.
So he's done assistant with Hugo Bruce. He's done briefly assistant with Kwesi Appiah. You think he needs to be given more attachment time?
Exactly. Because he did so well with the Black Meteors team that failed to qualify for the Olympic Games. Was just here to, I would say, luck. They were so unlucky in that game.
We're missing about 7 key players.
But he did so well. But I think he needs time so that he will be able to get the trust of Ghanaians and also those who want to hire him for the Black Stars job. So if you're getting a coach and then you attach Tanko to that coach, I think to me it's perfect.
There are those who say that Tanko is part of the FA system, that he's an FA system guy, and that with him there will possibly be interference like there's been during CK Akono's time, partly Kwesi Appiah's time. Do you agree with this assertion?
That's difficult to comment on because I don't really know much about Tanko, as I'm saying, you're being assistant. Anytime a team goes for a tournament or someone is called to manage a team, you understand, when the blame comes, it is always on you, the head coach. True. That is what I'm saying. I don't know what happened between Tanko and then Kwesi Appiah, because it was then Tanko, Kwesi Appiah and Maswell Kunedu, but then he had to drop Tanko and then what? Work with Charles Kwabena Akono, that is CK Akono. So I don't know when it has to do with interference, but we've gotten to a stage whereby you know that I always say, local coach, if you want to succeed, you understand, you have to be a man of your own. Is that how people say it? Yep. You have to get in your own players and work with them. Because always, when you let people interfere with you, when your head is on the chopping board, it's only you.
It's just you. Yep.
It's just you. There's nobody else.
Yep.
You understand?
You get fired alone.
Yes, Tango is a very, very good coach. No two ways about it. A very good coach, because we saw what he did with the Black Meteors team. Okay, so when people are trying to tag him that he's part of the FA system and people will be able to interfere, maybe interfere in his work. I think that if he's given the opportunity, he has to prove. Everybody who is saying that, he has to prove that no, I'm not that. I'm a man of my own. I can do the job. You understand? But then they have to show signs and you have to start voicing out when you're having those interferences, because I sit here and I know Kwesi Appiah is one of the coaches that you dare not interfere in his call-ups.
Appiah was able to build that reputation. Hopefully these other guys who come in can build that reputation. Well, one other person who has literally been circling the Ghana job for a while now is Aston Villa under-23 head coach George Boateng. Now, George Boateng is of Ghanaian parentage, but also holds Dutch citizenship. He played for the Netherlands. He grew up in the Netherlands, came up through their academy system, played for their national team, has understudied some of their head coaches, including Louis van Gaal. These days, he cuts his teeth at the Aston Villa team, or the Aston Villa franchise. He's under-23's head coach, like I mentioned. He was mentioned before Rajevac was hired, but eventually was not given the job. He's been mentioned again. In fact, during the Rajevac search, he was mentioned as a possible assistant to Rajevac along with Otto Addo. And what I can tell you is that George Boateng was not interested in being assistant to Milovan Rajevac, because there are those who say that he firmly believed that his badges, his credentials, and the work he's done is good enough to earn him the slot as Ghana's head coach. Herbert, Mr. Boateng is big.
Would you agree with me if I say George Boateng would be my try my way?
Well, it looks like if you take away a Chris Hughton, in fact, Chris Hughton would even be Matrai Makwe because he's never coached the national team before. Otto Addo's never coached a national team as head coach. Tanko has never coached a national team, a senior national team as a head coach. So I think he falls in the category with the rest of the guys.
Yeah, so but I like what you said about him. He believes that when he's given the head coach position, he can do the job. Definitely, this is someone that over the years has been eyeing that position for a while now. And I think anybody who also has that target that wants to coach one of the best teams in Africa definitely has a plan. But that has to do with those who are going to hire him, those who are going to pay him or appoint him. Can he do the job? Does he have what it takes to coach the Black Stars? You know, the problem I have with George is he wasn't really his nationality switch. Because there were in the past he made a certain comment
that he wasn't Ghanaian.
He wasn't Ghanaian, and so sometimes people tend to doubt those things. You didn't want to play for us, now you want to come and coach us.
Now you want to come and coach us.
You understand those sort of things. But if he is capable or if he wants to do the job, that's what I'm saying. That do we have to try him? Because George hasn't really managed a top side that I would say that I've seen what he's done. I've seen his exploits. As you said, he's with Aston Villa used 23
under 23 team,
under 23 team that. We don't really know what he's doing there. Maybe we'll have to check or we have to make reference to his performance with the club. But being the head coach of the Black Stars is business. You understand? That is why I keep saying at this stage, we want to win the AFCON. We want to go for the World Cup. We need to go in for coaches who have made it, who have made the cut. When you go, let's shift to club side. Look at our top teams in Europe. Anytime they are going for coaches, they go for coaches that they know that this coach can get us a trophy within a 1, 2, or 3 seasons. That's when they sign a contract. If it's not going well, they fire you. Where we've gotten to as Black Stars, we will need a coach that can win us the AFCON trophy. And then let's go in for those who have made their names.
Let's talk about another issue that I'd like to talk about. And this goes for both Boateng and Chris Hughton. So in recent times, a lot of our conversations have revolved around convincing our players in the diaspora to come and play for us. So, for instance, in that picture that I wanted to show you that I don't seem to have, it was Chris Hughton having a conversation with Callum Hudson-Oddoi's father at Labadi Beach. The reports out there say that Hudson-Odoi, who is eligible to play for Ghana in November, will be more malleable to making the switch if Hughton is appointed. Now, Boateng also has worked with a lot of these guys who are out there. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, the likes of Hudson himself, Tariq Lamptey, and co. He understands their psychology because he was once a Ghanaian who left the country, went to live there, and switched nationalities. Will hiring these type of people not give us an advantage into bringing such players into our fold?
Of course, I think it's a plus for us, and it's really going to help. Yesterday, the Moroccan team, they have a lot of players from the diaspora. Most of them were born in Belgium and France and Netherlands. So we've gotten there whereby if you have players and they are top notch, they have the quality, and you can just integrate them. Why not? For the past years, we've been chasing these players. Callum Hudson-Odoi, Tariq Lamptey, and even right now, the right person to convince Mohamed Salisu to play for the Black Stars. And I think that, yes, getting someone like Chris Hughton, this is a former Brighton manager. If he wants to go speak with Tariq Lamptey, don't think it's going to be easy. You understand? But definitely working with a club in the past, he's still going to have connections over there. He goes back and he meets the player and even his family. You don't know what he's going to say. You understand? Definitely, he's going
his orientation is just like this.
Exactly. Now there's Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's going to be the Black Stars coach. Let's say he's getting the appointment. Okay, there's a project that I have. If you join me, we can succeed. If you join me, we can get this far. If you join me, we can get this. You understand? So it is more appealing if a coach who is yet to be appointed comes to a player, because in the past we heard that the FA in July 2020, that's when they made the approach for Tariq Lamptey. But the player is not willing. He's not willing, and he's even made interviews that yes, he grew up in England, he's played for the 1970s, but he hasn't closed the door yet to Ghana. Callum Hudson-Odoi, with how things are going, it looks positive. And I'm very happy with the picture that I saw. I think Citi Sports broke that news. We saw the picture with Chris Hughton and a meeting with Bismarck Odoi. I think these are positive news because the Chelsea winger, when he came last year after the Champions League trial, when he went to the Flagstaff House, our president ordered the sports minister that they should explore the possibilities of getting him to play for the Black Stars. Okay, so if you're having a coach who is coming and have a project, and definitely the coach is going to convince the family. Listen, you're a young man. Anytime you have, let's say, if your mom wants to convince you, he knows what to tell you. He knows the right words to say to you. So maybe getting through the dad. And most of these players, they listen to their parents. I think that when you join the Black Stars, the possibility of you playing in a World Cup is high. The possibility of you even winning the AFCON is high. You understand? And since it's a project and the coach wants you, it tells you that the coach makes you his number one priority. So always you know that, yes, if it is Chris Hughton, I'm going to start. So for me, it is perfect because there are lots of Ghanaian talents abroad that we can poach them. Look at the Nigerian team. You understand? What are they doing? What are they doing right? That they are getting all this Nigerian players
from Germany, from Belgium,
all playing for them. And all they need is integration. They need time for them to gel. So as I said, the Moroccan team, they are doing that. It is working for them. So in Ghana, we have a coach who is coming in and has started. You understand? This is good signs that he wants to do the job. I want to see whether if we can get these players. Look at our right back position. And you get a Tariq Lamptey playing for the Black Stars at the right back. And it's superb. There's a player that right now, Liverpool, Manchester United are all interested. They've shown interest. So if we'll get him, and the truth is that we can get Tariq Lamptey because look at the three Lions. Look at the right back options they have.
Too many.
They
have at least three very solid world-class type options.
Yes, too many. So get Chris Hughton, get some Ghanaian legends that they have names in Europe. Come on, we need this guy. You understand? This should be a policy that the FA should be pursuing. Because right now in our country here, I don't see any better right back than Tariq Lamptey.
No. Tariq Lamptey obviously walks into that right back, so he's at least 3 times better than anybody we have.
Exactly, and even when Manchester United get to sign him, he's walking straight into the first team. A player who had did he get that ACL injury?
Yes, he was out came back almost a year. He came back and doesn't seem to have missed the step.
He's such a super player. So we'll be so happy to get. Imagine a Black Stars in with Tariq Lamptey. Let's start with the forward. you have your Andrea, you have Callum Hudson-Odoi, and then let's say you have Kamadi. and Kudus in the middle.
Yeah.
Wouldn't any Ghanaian love it? Wouldn't any opponent be afraid? And look at the star quality. It comes along with it.
Yeah.
Tariq Lamptey and then Callum Hudson-Odoi playing for the Black
If you
Stars.
like, we can expand the pool and go back in time. We can add Inaki Williams to the mix if he was eligible. We can add Mario Balotelli to the mix if he was eligible.
Inaki has made this point clear that he doesn't feel Ghanaian. But his younger brother, another super player, he also plays for the first team. Why can't we get him? There are lots of talents we can explore, but in so doing, we also have a lot of talent in the country that we can also give them the opportunity for them to play. But let's ask ourselves, what at all is it preventing these players from coming to play for the Black Stars? We keep hearing juju. Listen, if there's this perception that when I come to the national team, this is what's going to happen to me, and over time we don't do anything about it. The perception. Now it becomes reality. Everybody anybody that is far back, you understand, thinks that whatever they are saying is true. Milovan, Goran Stefanovic.
Yeah, he put it
in his report. That was 2012. How many years now? 10 years now. Still, that sort of idea, that sort of thought, that sort of perception is still in the Black Stars. And after this Nations Cup, what is happening? We are hearing about this juju thing. It's
reinforced again.
You understand? So it is time that I said we need to do rebuilding. We need to clear all this stuff. Because even when you speak to fans, see, anytime that you write a story that, this player wants to, maybe the FA is trying to convince this player, you have Ghanaian fans going under the post. Don't come. If you come, they'll juju you. If you come, they'll break your leg. You understand? It has become a perception and everything, and everybody believes it.
Interesting thoughts there from Herbert Boateng. Comprehensive analysis on the various candidates who are seeking to become the next head coach of Ghana's Black Stars. We'll keep an eye on that particular situation. And of course, when the news breaks, the tracker will be here to give you a breakdown of exactly how it went down. Thank you very much for doing the watching. Thank you very much to all the individuals that made this show possible. Same time next week, the tracker will be back on your screens.